Do I use hypnotic suggestions, or what would my best hypnotic suggestions be for conversational hypnosis? Well, I'm here to say, and this might sound strange, I never, ever, 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 ever use hypnotic suggestions. I never have in the past, and we do not teach it. And we've taught this method to over 30,000 hypnotherapists. The reason why I don't like suggestions, whether they're direct, they're indirect, they're semi-direct, they're, they're lost in a story, whatever it is, this is the reason. Where do the suggestions come from? Well, they're coming from me. And if I'm the therapist, how do I find that suggestion? Well, it's probably something I've read, something I've written, something I've prepared, and it's basically just a guess. There is no need for me to give a suggestion based on guessing, okay? Now, this could get really complex the more we dive into this, but understanding, the problem a client comes in with is not the problem, that's a symptom. So if I'm working with smokers, I'm not going to give direct or indirect stop smoking suggestions because now I'm working on the symptoms. But all in all, this is the big reason why I don't use suggestions, not only whether I'm preparing them or I'm coming up with them on the spot during the session, is because you've got to realize your client's unconscious mind can hear that suggestion, then go, okay, that's not what I want. That's not the suggestion I created. That's not how I think. Reject it. So if you've ever found that your clients are rejecting your suggestions, that is why. Everyone believes that a client's unconscious mind is very receptive to the hypnosis part, the suggestions. This can be further from the truth. And you've seen this in your clients who don't respond the way they should respond. And usually the way they should respond is being taught to you by another mentor. It says, if you say this suggestion, and then this, this should be the response. But again, that's just guessing. That's lumping everybody into the same box. So we don't use suggestions. I don't recommend using suggestions. I recommend you don't even prepare suggestions because you have a high level of chance of clients rejecting them. So what do you do instead of suggestions? There's hundreds, if not thousands of different things to get to the same place without worrying about creating the suggestions or giving them. So when I say suggestions, I mean therapeutic suggestions, deepening suggestions, hypnosis suggestions. We don't use any of those things. Now, this might sound rather bizarre and quite backwards. If you want to find out more about basically how we do the side of hypnosis, and I'm talking about the conversation hypnosis, which is weird. People think suggestions and conversation hypnosis. That's not what I'm talking about. There's hundreds of videos on our YouTube channel, guys. Go check that out, and you'll see, even with the demos and stuff that we've broken down for you guys, there's no suggestions whatsoever. You'll be able to see that in action and be able to explain that a bit better. So quickly recap, just be aware if you give a suggestion, that's your suggestion you want your client to have, and they have every right to reject it because it's not their thought, it's yours. So just avoid those suggestions altogether.